I do want you guys to stick with certain things that I might have said that might have not applied. But one thing for sure, two things for certain. I always want you guys to remember, no matter what you do, if you're willing to work hard, you can accomplish it. Right? No matter what you do, if you're willing to work hard, you can accomplish it. Because believe it or not, you guys are here in Red Line. I'm from York, there's kids in Central, there's kids in Northeastern, but that's just York. There's Harrisburg, there's Lancaster, that's just Pennsylvania. It's a big world. And every goal and dream and aspiration you have for yourself, there's somebody else in this world that has the same goal, dream, and aspiration. So what's gonna separate you from them is how hard you're willing to work, how long you're willing to go, how disciplined and how consistent you can be. Because your coaches can give you every tool in the toolbox. But if you choose not to use a certain tool, that's not your coach's fault. Your parents can provide the best life for you. But if you choose to not listen, that's not your parents' fault. And the last thing I would ever want for any of you guys is to blink your eyes and you're 27 years old like me and you've accomplished nothing. Regardless of basketball. Because again, at some point we all gotta stop playing. But you cannot play basketball and still be successful, right? You cannot play basketball and still have a great and purposeful life. But it all is predicated on how hard are you willing to work. So this is the last story I'm going to leave you guys with, and I like telling stories because a lot of times the stories that I tell kind of relate. In the story, me and my daughter, right, we were watching this movie. It was called Shark Tale. How many of you guys seen the movie Shark Tale? And I like the movie because the guy, Will Smith played the guy, but the guy in Shark Tale, he had big dreams and big goals, right? He wanted to be living in the big house up on the hills, but he was working in a car wash, right? And I take a sidebar to tell you guys, it doesn't matter where you're at in life, as long as you're willing to work hard, that's not gonna always be where you're at, right? That just because that's where you are right now, doesn't mean that's where you're always gonna be. Like if you start off on the bench, that doesn't mean you can't be a starter. If you think you're gonna make varsity and you're on JV, that doesn't mean varsity's out the picture. Just because where you're at does not mean that's where you're gonna always be. But the movie, I really enjoyed the movie Shark Tale because what happened was this guy, the little fish, right? Will Smith, the little fish, he was about to get killed. And then there was two sharks and the shark started chasing him and he started swimming away, running away, and the shark ran into like an iron casket. Not a casket, what do they dock the ships with? An anchor. Yep, we ran into an iron anchor. And when the shark ran into the iron anchor, the shark ended up dying, and his brother felt so bad, his brother just left. So Will Smith ended up going back, telling everybody, I'm the shark slayer. Right, he was running around talking about he slayed a shark. And what I realized was, that's how a lot of us do, right? If somebody doesn't know exactly who we are, exactly what we represent, we'll go around and we're lying. Right, we'll go around and we'll talk a real good game even though we know that's not who we are. Right? But what happened was, Will Smith, when he went around lying, his whole life changed. He started getting more cute girls, he started getting the house he wanted, he started getting more money. But there's a saying that what's done in the dark always comes to light. So at one point, the other brother shark came back and said, you're the shark slayer? You didn't kill anybody. And Will Smith's whole cover was blown. And in the blink of an eye, he went from on top of the world to the world being on top of him. Right? In the blink of an eye, he went from all this fame, all this fortune, all these people around him to being a nobody again. And what he realized was, when he went back to being a nobody, the friends that he had then were still there to be his friend. He just had to apologize. Meanwhile, the people that was around him because he was popular, they disappeared. And I tell you guys that story because the only thing I ever ask for you guys, the only thing I would ever want, the only thing I ever hope for you guys, is you can stay true and authentic to who you are. Never feel like you have to compromise your integrity. Never feel like you have to be somebody else in order to fit in. If you love basketball, be a basketball player. If you love football, be a football player. If you love school, be a great academic school student, a great scholar. All I ever ask you guys is never change who you are to fit in with somebody that you're not. I thank you guys for your time and your energy today. I am Tavon Parker. Follow me on social media. I am Team Follow Back. All my social medias is I am Tavon Parker. Thank you guys.